Hey guys, in this video we'll be continuing with the csharp.net tutorials. So if you guys saw the last one, or if you're watching the playlist, I had to start a new solution so we can continue with the lab. So in this one we'll be working with the ToString method, I believe, and we'll just do a GUI to explain some of the concepts from the number types, the string type ToString, and maybe using the parse in dot parse or double dot parse methods, or decimal dot parse, whatever. So let's go with that. So we have our designer window. So we're going to have to add some controls here. We'll do it manually this time with the drag and drop. So we'll be coding the complete thing coming up. So right now we're just doing half the code for the event handlers, and in the next few chapters, and we'll be going over the how to write all those components out. So first, let's we'll start with two text boxes. So we'll click a text box here. That'll pop up. I'll just put it somewhere around here, and I'll click another one. I'll put it underneath, so we'll actually have more space for that, so we'll just have it. That's about fine. So actually no, a little bit more. We'll have three of them, and then two buttons down here. So let's just start off by naming these. So we'll have I can't see these things, so I have to take off my shades for a sec here. So let's just have, so get the, I think it's the middle pane, or that one. So we'll click that. So we have the name, we'll change it to Miles text box. So Miles text box. So we'll have Miles text box. We'll save that. Sorry. So Miles text box. We'll change the auto size to Is there an auto size? There should be. Maybe not. So let's just go with the font, and then we'll change the size to .36. Maybe is that too big? No, that's fine. So we'll go with 36. So we'll have another one. That should be fine. I don't see the auto size here. Is that only for labels? It's nice to just code the properties out, but we'll do that soon. So we have this one will be gallons text box. We'll change the size here to 36 again. I'll just use the mouse to size it here, and then we'll have another text box. Actually, nope, I lied. So I'm going to have to highlight that one and then click the delete button on my keyboard. Okay, so here we'll have a label. I'll just move that a little bit up here. We'll put the label, so we'll just try to resize it somehow similar. So then we'll have the label. I'll click the name and then we'll go with MPG, so miles per gallon label. Then we'll go with the font, we'll change it to 36. Auto size, we'll set it to true. Actually, that's okay. Yeah, probably will. Yeah, we'll set it to true. So then we'll have. That should be fine. We'll have. We should have done that one. It's okay. So we're getting a little bit mixed up here. But so instead we'll just go with the next one. Don't worry about that. So we'll just have. I'm mixing you guys up here. So I wanted to go 1, 2, 3, 4, but in this case we have 1 here, so we'll just go back up, kind of 1 here and then 2, 3, 4. We don't have them numbered, so that's okay. So we'll just we'll go label. We'll change the name to miles label. We'll change that to auto size. Auto size, we'll set it to true, so I'm going to do all the labels the same basically. We'll then change the font to 36. Actually, that might be too much. We'll go with 26 instead. So we'll change the text to enter the number of miles driven. That should be fine. Could go with a border here. Go with the border, we'll change it to fixed single. So enter the number of miles driven. We'll have another label underneath. We'll change that name to gallons label. Auto size will change. Border style will change. Just the same as the rest. Size will change. What happened there? Auto size didn't change, okay. Okay, then we'll just change the text here to enter the gallons of gas used, or fuel. So then here we'll have another label. This label we'll just set that to just over here. So the MPG label, miles per gallon label, will change the text to just an empty string. Actually, we don't have to do that, just empty, nothing. We'll change border style as well. Maybe let's go with the text. Let's try this. Nope, it doesn't change anything. Okay. Whoops. Oh, sorry, did I clicked the form's name by accident, so this was fuel converter. Or actually, no, this was fuel distance or something. This was what I wanted. Is that up here? Text. Can we go with that? There we go. Oh. Trying to get that a little bit better. Okay, that's good. So we have that. To do that, I just entered some spaces in there because you can't put an empty string. So here we'll have the last text box. Actually, no, sorry, so we'll have the last label here. We'll change the name to description label. So we'll just go with description whoops. So the name is description, or the identifier is description label, then we'll have the auto size set to same thing. We'll do the same for all of them. Text font will change. Text will change to or just change car or car miles per gallon. So car miles per gallon, whatever truck or whatever you have, bike or whatever, scooter. So car miles per gallon. Then we'll have here, so we have our, that should be fun actually. So we have 4 labels, 2 text boxes, at the bottom we'll have 2 buttons. Why are those like that? Okay. Size is super small, so we'll go with so we'll change the name to, or the identifier, we'll change it to calculate. MPG. Actually, no, sorry. Calculate button. Auto size goes to true. Same thing for the rest, size. I'll change the size, try 26. I'll just go a little bit up from that. There we go. Might be not scaled appropriately, so we'll just go back down a little bit. That's okay, so we'll just go with that. May have to make these bigger. That's okay. Hopefully it all fits, so we'll just have, so we have that button 1. Oh, okay, so we'll change the text. To calculate MPG. Oh, what happened there? Wrong one. Okay, so we'll just delete that, hit enter. We'll click the bounding, we'll get the bounding box on the button by clicking it. Click the text, then we'll say calculate MPG. We'll just move that over here, and then we'll have one more button. Put that around there somewhere, then we'll have close button, or exit button, whatever. Auto size, change it. So auto size will change it to false. Size will change. Whoops. We'll then have, well, maybe just one up from that. So it doesn't really have to look perfect, just for the purpose of learning the code. So we have here, okay, so we have button 1 will change the text to close. That should be everything. I'll just check. MPG label, that's all fine. So there's some steps here, so we'll have to start with the code stuff. So we'll have, so we have 2 buttons. That's all fine. So we'll have to create a click event button for the buttons. So in the designer, double click the calculate button. Double click it. We'll get the event handler. So we'll go do the event handler code for that. So here we'll declare some local variables. So we'll have some local variables here. So in this case, we could have made them fields. We didn't need to because we just want to keep them in here, so that's fine. In this, we want to keep them basically just with this method here. So we'll have miles here. So we'll have double miles, double gallons, double MPG, miles per gallon. Does it work with that? Is it a field now? I don't think so. Actually, it might be a local field. Whoops, what happened there? Okay, so double miles. Why was that being highlighted before? Any warnings? Let me just check these problems. Well, we have all these warnings, but we haven't even written anything. Using directives. Okay, local variable miles. Okay, so let's just go with, it's going to give me any warnings if I do this. Probably shouldn't. Oh, 21. let's just go. Okay, so it doesn't like those, the private fields, so you can only declare private fields up there. We'll talk about that later on. So if we have, pretty much it's already private, I guess, because it's localized. It doesn't really like that. If I have a private here, what says I'm missing a bracket? Maybe that's a error. Do I have an extra one? Curly brace? No, I shouldn't. Okay, so don't worry about that. We'll go over that stuff later on. Sorry for confusing anybody. I'm usually using different languages as syntaxes. Yeah, so I often use different languages, so in other languages I could use private here. For example, here I can't. But that's okay, you'll get used to that as well. So we'll just go with double miles. That should be fine. So now here we could say miles points to double dot parse, and we'll say, okay, we want to pass it as a double. So what are we going to pass as a double? We're going to say we want to pass the miles text box dot text to a double. So in this case, we're saying, okay, we want to basically say, okay, well, miles is a double, and we want to thus pass the string as a double. So here we're passing the string as a double. We're going forward and then back, basically. So then after that, so this gets the miles driven and assigns it to the miles variable, which makes sense, right? From the text box, we're getting the input from the user. Then here we'll say gallons points to double dot parse gallons text box dot text. Then here we'll have mpg points to miles divided by gallons. And here we'll say mpg label dot text points to mpg dot ToString. Whoops. So basically, we're getting the miles, passing it as a double. Remember, you can't do a calculation on a string because you have to convert it to a double. So we're going to get the string that was entered as, then pass it as a double, get the next one that's entered, then pass it as a double to gallons, and then we'll say, okay, well, the formula points, which is the miles per gallon variable is going to point to the formula, which is miles divided by gallons. And we'll say, okay, well, the mpg label dot text points to, so mpg label is a text property. So then we're going to take the double value, then convert it to a string using the string method that we talked about in the last video, which is ToString, which converts it to a string. And then we'll just have one more event handler for the close button. We'll just say we want to, we'll just comment that out and say this.close, which will close the window. This is referring to the GUI the window, basically, the form. So this references the form. If you just reference it like this, so that's okay. So that should be fine. So we'll just save that. I'll just run that. You won't be able to see this one, but I'll include it at the end of the video. So if you guys run that on your own computer or whatever, so we'll have, so I'll just enter some miles driven. Whoops. Whoops, something happened here, okay. I think I messed something up by accident, so let me just go back to the code. So private void, calculate button underscore click. Double miles, double gallons, double mpg. Miles points to double dot parse miles text box dot text. Miles points to, you know what, I think I named something different. Did I name something different? Miles, gallons, mpg. Miles text box and gallons text box. Did I name those correctly? Let me just check that. Miles text box and gallons text box. Where is that? Sorry, just looking for my notes for a sec, just looking for my layout. Okay, so we have miles text box here. Did I spell it correctly? Nope. There we go. Is that a U? Nope, it's an I. Okay, so that's fine. So miles text box, then we got gallons text box. MPG label, which was that capital? Oh, change, okay. Exit or close button. Close button. Calculate button. Should be fine. So we created the click event handlers for the button controls. So we double click the calculate button control. Then we, so then we double click the exit button, which then we have close button or exit button. Yeah, we named it close button. So it should be working. I'm not sure what it is, so let's just try to figure that out. Did I spell close right? This dot close, yeah. Private void. Okay, let me just try that again. Apologize. Run that. Okay, so enter the number of miles driven. Oh, you know what? It might have been because I did an int. Was that it? Enter the. No. Input string was not in correct format. Input string. input string. What's that? Okay, so we went. I spelled something wrong here. Double miles, double gallons, double mpg, miles points to double dot. Parse miles text box dot text. Gallons points to double dot parse gallons text box dot text. Oh, here we go. This should be without the string. That's probably the error. mpg points to miles divided by gallons. mpg label dot text points to mpg dot ToString. This dot close. Okay, we'll save that. Apologize for that. So we'll save it. Run it. I'll include this at the end, so let me just make sure that it works first. Okay, so we'll just do a little simple thing here that you guys can't see. Sorry for that. Let's go with 2 calculate. Okay, it works. Okay, so that's the end of the tutorial. So at the last part, we will basically I'll do the example, show you guys how it looks. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a sec.